everybody, this is Michael out in Maui. Aloha. So today I wanted to talk about how to develop the snap on a forehand throw. When you throw a forehand, like the backhand, your wrist snaps through on the forehand throw also. But the forehand throw is a little different than the backhand on how the disc is released. So to practice throwing the disc, instead of, usually you're gonna throw your disc, 5 discs down the fairway, then you gotta walk and get them, and then throw them again, so you don't get as much practice. I have a drill that I like to do, and it's, you can do it in your backyard, or you can just, a little patch of grass. And that's, take your grip. So when you're throwing the forehand, the thumb's on top, pressuring down, just right off the edge. The bottom 2 fingers, lock in the bottom of the disc so it doesn't slip out. Then on the underside, your middle finger, the smooth part of the underside of the finger, I like to tuck right into the underside of the rim. And then your pointer finger is going to sit right on top. So that makes a good push, with your fingers. So when you take your grip, it's nice and firm, and you really want to push hard with your middle finger on that push of the disc. So when the wrist snaps, as the wrist snaps, it's the push of the finger that sends the disc. So you need to develop, your fingers with your wrist to get the maximum throw. The reason you need to, develop your fingers for pushing the disc is because on a backhand throw, when you throw backhand, right before the disc is released, it's, how it's pointing at 9 o'clock. The inertia of the throw brings the disc around to the front. So when you're pulling through, you're like right here, and then the inertia of the throw brings your disc to the front. When you're throwing a forehand, your wrist cocks, you come in, you're right here. There is no inertia that brings this disc around to the front. It comes around because of the push of your 2 fingers and the snap of the wrist. So when you're throwing a forehand, you have to get the disc from 3 o'clock to 12 o'clock. So to do that, you need to develop those 2 fingers. So you can see how when my hand's on the side and then I push with these 2 fingers, it brings it around to the front. Now it's at 12 o'clock. So from here, then you push, and that gets it to 12 o'clock. So that's why you need to develop your wrist and pushing with your 2 fingers that are under the disc. It's very important to hit those as hard as you can. So you can see when I put pressure on my finger and I hold the disc, I'm pushing on it, and that's what throws the disc and brings it around to the front. So a good way to practice it is just take your grip firm, bend your arm, and just throw it right into the ground. So take your grip, hold the disc, just come up and down. And as hard as you can, the wrist snaps and you push with those middle finger. So you just grab a disc. Remember to push as hard as you can with this middle finger. So you come in, you come up, hard as you can, right back into the ground. After doing that, you're going to start developing you know, the pop with the wrist and the fingers for throwing your forehands. You know, if you, I made a video talking about the same thing for developing your backhand. You know, so if you just take a few minutes, you know, if you take 10-15 minutes in your backyard, take your grip for your backhand and just rip it into the ground. So you kind of hold it, power it right into the ground, and then, you know, cycle through maybe about 20 of those. You know, now sit and do your forehand right into the ground. Hold it as hard as you can and push. But you can do both of those in your backyard, you know, so you don't have to go running all over the place. But like I said, on a forehand throw, it's a lot more important. You have to get that finger to push through, because that's what brings the disc around to the front. So you really need to develop that wrist and finger hit. So anyways, I just recommend practicing that to develop your forehand and also your backhand. You could watch, you know, that video I made on, you know, the backhand. But anyways, this is Michael out in Maui. Aloha.